What's up, YouTube? This is Bill here, bringing you another Game of Thrones review, and this is episode 8, entitled Hardhome. It is the final 3 episodes of the season, so we have just 2 more weeks of this, which is hard to believe. And boy, did this episode was really good, and I'm going to be moving really fast because towards the end of the episode, it's a lot to talk about at the end of the episode. So let's jump right in. It starts out with Tyrion and Captain Friendzone. It starts out with probably a couple hours after Tyrion shows up at the fighting pits, and Tyrion is telling her why he should belong to her team, and she really wants to kill Captain Friendzone because she is still hurt by him from doing it, and Tyrion says, hey, you probably need this guy, and also I think he's in love with you. So there was that. And then Daenerys bans him again from the city, which he's not going to go anywhere soon, which we'll find out later in the episode what he does. And then Cersei is getting slapped around, and it looks like she's getting either water or food slop. I wasn't too sure. It looked like it might have been food slop. But she's getting slapped around, and they're telling her confess and all that. So there was that. Then we go finally see Arya again she wasn't there last week, and she was working on looked like some kind of cover story or working on our lives or something, because it showed like her going around town selling clams and saying they're the best, and then she saw this guy giving like the tax collector money, and tax collector is not very kind, and he bought one of her clams, and I'm not sure if that's leading on that she's going to be poisoning him at some point, but there was that. Then we go to Cersei gets the medical guy who's working on Frankenstein, aka the Mountain, which I would believe the Mountain will probably be showing up probably again in the next 2 episodes probably. She's probably going to be using the Mountain as the advantage to get out of the High Sparrow's role, because it looks like the religious fanatics took over King's Landing, and that's not the end well there either. And the medical guy actually tell her, yeah, maybe you should confess. And Cersei's like, no, I am not confessing to anything. I am gonna keep fighting it. And then we go see Sansa for a little bit, where she is pissed at Greyjoy for not helping her, and Greyjoy's like, well, I kind of did it for your own being, for your safety. And Sean says, like, no, whatever you did, I would have done the same thing to you if you were, since you killed my brothers. And, well, Greyjoy said her brothers are, two younger brothers are still alive. They are still out there somewhere, and he actually killed two farm boys, and he did not want to confess that. Then we have the Boltons are making a plan against the Stannis' army, and Ramsay's like, hey, I just need 20 men and I can get rid of them. So that's going to be really interesting what's to go on right there. Maybe that's the vision that the Red Witch got. Not actually walking in Winterfell, but maybe the vision of him being Ramsay, but not winning a big battle against the Boltons, which I really hope. That house really needs to die. I do not like them. And then we have Tyrion and Daenerys are talking again, and Tyrion eventually gets Daenerys to make him her right hand, basically. He's going to be advising her from now on, and Daenerys like, hey, I'm not killing you. I'm keeping you as an advisor. So, and it sounds like Daenerys wants him to sober up more because she's going to be needing his input, and she wants to make war quickly to seem like she wants to take over the entire world, basically. So that's going to be interesting when, I don't know, something with the White Walkers, perhaps? And then we find Captain Friendzone, who actually go back to the fighting pits, and he says, "Hey, I want to fight." So he is back there. Then we have Cersei getting slapped around by some people who they don't like her. They want her to confess. Then we have Sam talked about the army of the dead and why they need the wildlings. And John Squire is like, no, they killed my family. I cannot trust them. Sam's like, the White Walkers are coming. We need every single person we can get on our side to fight them. And then we actually go to Jon Snow, or Commander Snow, into the wildling town or city, whatever, and he has to convince them to join their side. And boy, it wasn't going well at first. One of the wildlings killed the leader of that town, it looks like, because he didn't not want to hear it, and it was like, I think maybe like a 50-50 split that some of the wildlings actually joined up with Snow and they want to live and try and make their lives better, and then they will help them when winter is coming and the White Walkers. And then John actually shows them Dragon Glass and say, hey, this is how we can beat them. And the giant says basically fuck off. And there was that. And then the wildling starts to leave on the boats to go to onto the Stannis' boats. And then that's when the last probably like 20 minutes of it is the intensity of it. And the dogs start barking and the army is dead and the White Walkers show up. And there is a big battle with the wildlings. Jon Snow stays behind. They told him to go onto the boat. He stays behind and fight alongside the wildlings. And it almost looked like Jon Snow was not going to make it through this battle. He was getting his ass kicked when he meets up with one of the leaders of the White Walkers, it looks like. And he was getting his ass kicked. And he blocks it with his sword. And we find out his sword is the thing that can... His Varian sword can block the White Walker sword, and he can cut them down and destroy them with his sword. So his sword must have like some kind of dragon glass in it or something. And then they fight Jon Snow and the other wildling guy. They jump onto the boat. The giant was having trouble with them. He starts walking in the water, and yeah, it was a very tough day in the office for these guys. They were getting their ass kicked and all that. And at the end, Jon Snow and the other wildling guy, they're on the boat, and they watch the leader, it looks like, and he starts raising the dead, the people who died on the battlefield. He starts to raise them dead and recruit for his army. And man, I don't know how you're going to be beating these guys. They are tough, and it's going to be interesting. I think there's 2 or 3 more seasons after this season is over. And so we have probably no more than 32 episodes left of Game of Thrones. And this is big. So I'm giving this a 5 out of 5, probably the best episode of the season, probably one of my favorites of the season. And yeah, what were your thoughts of it? And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below. That will really help me a lot. Make sure you share it with your friends, and make sure to check out my other videos where there's video playlist linked down below. So I'm going to leave it there. Bye.